Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Heather. This is where we talk about all things books, and today is going to be my final September wrap-up. Okay, so I already did a mid-September wrap-up and I will link that above. It included 3 books that I had read, and a couple that I will be reading, and the ones that I had read were I read 2 mangas, which was My Happy Marriage, and I finished everything that I could read about that, and I loved it so much. The second one was D.N.Angel, which was a reread from my teenage years, and I enjoyed it so much. I still love it, and I wanted to find the ending to it, and I finally did, and I will talk about that in just a minute. And then the third book that I read was The Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea. Those 3 are in my mid-September wrap-up, and you can go and watch more in detail there, but that's just a recap of what I read at the first half of the month. Now, on to what I read the second half of the month. I read the rest of D.N.Angel, which was the end of it, and it was like, I think 2 volumes. It may have been just 1, and I have to say, I am actually really disappointed. I was so sad. You could definitely tell that the author of D.N.Angel just wanted to get an ending out for this manga, because it's been 20 plus years since it came out, and it still didn't have an ending. She finally put an ending out, and it just was very rushed. It wasn't fleshed out very well, and man, it broke my heart. It did not end the way I thought it was going to end. It did not end the way I wanted it to end at all. Plus, on top of that, the ending that happened, it left a lot of questions that were not answered, and I didn't like that. There was a whole arc or whole mini story in the manga where they go over Riku and Risa. Riku moves away from Risa for a couple years when they were younger children, and they don't address why that happens. And at the end of the manga, all of a sudden they're moving away as well, and it was made out that they were going to be separated again, but then it's just like they don't say anything at the end of the manga about Riku or Risa moving away, or both of them moving away. It just happens. Nobody says anything, and where's the wrap up to that? You can't just have the 2 main female love interests move away and then not say anything at all about anything at all. I was kind of confused on that, on why she had Riku and Risa move away, or they're going to be moving away. They hadn't moved away yet, but I don't know. Like I said, the ending was just like, this is not a very good ending at all. It was definitely rushed, and I'm kind of bummed. I wish I wouldn't have read it, but on the flip side, I'm glad that it finally does have an ending, because then I would be wondering for the rest of my life why it hasn't ended or what would have happened, what could have happened. But at the same time, I probably was better off with my own theories and my own playthrough in my head, because it was just not the ending I wanted at all. And so yeah, D.N.Angel, I finished. I loved the first half, or the first bit of it, all the way up until it went on hiatus. I love it still. It's hilarious, it's sweet, I just loved it so much. And then the ending was rushed and left a lot to be desired, honestly. Now, the next thing that I read after D.N.Angel was an actual book, and my friend gave it to me for my birthday. She said it was one of her favorite books, and on my mid wrap up, I had just started it, and I finished it, and it was Until the Leaves Fall in Paris. And honestly, I have to say, this has now become one of my absolute favorite books. You have romance, you have history, you have war, you have espionage, all in it, and it's amazing. And then you also have the sweet little girl who's absolutely stinking adorable, and all in one book, and it's amazing. I love this one. It is now one of my favorites, and it will definitely be going on my favorites for the end of the year. So this one, Until the Leaves Fall in Paris, I'm definitely gonna have to look up some more of Sarah Sundin's books because I enjoyed this one. I loved it so much. It was hard for me to put down, even though it did take me so long to read it, because like I said, I was so stinking busy this month. There was something every day, Monday through Sunday, every single day. Sometimes there were 2 to 3 things scheduled on one day, and it was so busy. And yeah, I just didn't have a whole lot of time to sit down and read. So it did take longer to get through this, not because I didn't enjoy it, but because I just didn't have the time. And by the time I had time, I was so exhausted that I was falling asleep reading, and it didn't happen. And I did actually finally get the audiobook on my library app. It became available. So I did get the audiobook, which helped me get through the book faster. However, I didn't really care for the narrator on there. She was a little, I don't know. I just didn't really care for the narrator a whole lot, so it was hard to listen to, but I did get through it. It did help me get through the book a whole lot faster than if I was just reading it on its own. So there's that. Then the last book that I started in September, but I'm actually still reading, and I will definitely be finishing up by the end of the week, and that is Linden Falls. It is about a young woman named Mabel who is trying to find herself in a world of angels and demons while she is being labeled a witch, and she is trying to also save the world in the midst of everything that is going on. And it is just, I'm enjoying it so far, and I will definitely be done with it by the end of the week, and then I get to move on to some other things. And yeah, that's all that I have. That's everything that I read in September. I know, it's not a whole lot at all. I slowed down a whole lot the second half of September once I got into Until the Leaves Fall in Paris. Which, like I said, it wasn't that I didn't like this book. I enjoyed, this is probably the first book that I have really thoroughly enjoyed in a very long time. Probably since Mistborn, the first book, or even Well of Ascension. I enjoyed the Well of Ascension as well. I don't know, but it was very hard to get into other books. It's just been very hard for me. And once I picked up this book, I was just hooked. I enjoyed it. I loved it. And I'm feeling the same way about Linden Falls. Linden Falls is actually going very well for me. It's honestly, I'm just tired. So reading is going a little slower than it has been. So it'll be okay. October will be a nice slow month. Kinda. October should be a little slower than September, and so I'm definitely slowing down on reading and not trying to cram as much stuff in. It is what it is for this month. Anyway, moving on. What did all of you read for September? Let me know in the comments. I would like to know if you've read any of these books as well. And if you have, let me know what you liked or didn't like about it as well, because I want to talk about these books or mangas as much as you all do. So don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you all next time. Bye.